What it do, guys? Manjoume here, and today we're checking out the Versus System two-player card game, The Marvel Battles. Now, this is the first in the second series. So the original game was called the Versus System, and that was it. This is the Versus System 2PCG, two-player card game. This is what differentiates it from the older version. The older version also had like DC and stuff like that. This one is largely Marvel, also the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as some unrelated franchises like MK11, The Boys, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Alien, Predator, and I think we were supposed to get 007, although I don't know what actually became of that. And it would seem like the series is winding down, although we are getting another set coming soon as of recording. But this is the original set of this second version. This is the current version, and this is the OG of that. So it's going to be fairly mundane, pretty basic, but probably very powerful, because this was before they had balanced out for everything else. Now, this is brand new, sealed, although I did get this secondhand, so chances are this, I don't know if this was resealed or not. Is whether or not this original version has suggested starting decks like the newer sets tend to have. Looking at the front, this side's pretty much the same. Not much actually going on here. I don't know exactly what this motif is called, but the background, that blue, is what is on the card backing. So I'm wondering if that is like kind of lore going into it. I'm not really sure, but it reminds me of like an envelope. Get ready for the next round. The return of the incredibly popular two-player card game is here. Versus System has returned. Use your new main character cards to take on your opponent in fierce head-to-head combat. Battle your constructed deck from a total of 400 cards. New card mechanics, streamlined gameplay, easy to learn, difficult to master. 400 all-new cards, gameplay tokens, and a full-colored rulebook. Now, this is from 2015. It is currently 2024, and they still are releasing new products. So we're almost at that 10-year mark for the Versus System two-player card game. See older logos for Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Use of a QR code, which is kind of cool. Ages 12 and plus. 2 players, although there are variants now for 4 players, 3 players, and the like, as well as this being about a 30-minute game. Let's see if we get this open. Another thing that I wanted this for specifically was more storage for my cards, because you get a bunch of expansions and it starts taking up a lot of space. But these are very nice boxes, the exact same boxes that they use for the bigger expansions for Legendary, a Marvel deck building game. And of course, being Upper Deck, same company that makes them. This is a really big manual. So this is the manual that came supplied here, right? If you want to look at, let's see, those aren't as big expansions, but the MCU battles is right there. One of the newer ones, Hell's Kitchen, is right there. Granted, that is a 200 card set rather than 400. So, but still, this is the more streamlined content. This is the original. This, to me, feels more like a board game manual that you bring out like a few times on like big occasions. Like, this is gigantic. Like, this probably doesn't even fit in the entire frame, is how big this is. But it does tend to show you the key concepts of the game in a very big format. But you could see how they could just take this and turn that into one page, turn that into one page. So this one page is probably like 4 pages in one of the smaller ones. And taking a quick look, oh, there it is, build your first decks. That's actually really cool, because what I want to do at some point is take one of these first build decks that they suggest and pin it up against one from, say, well, because I have it here, Hell's Kitchen. So it's going to be kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! When people do like starter deck Yugi versus starter deck evolution Kaiba, that kind of thing. And I think those are really fun videos. See how power creep works and how good these original sets really were. Or if they just have really good matchups against others. Oh, okay, so there's multiple decks here. Okay, so we'll have a follow-up video showcasing these separate decks, but it is really cool to see that there are so many, and that they had the idea of like easier to use characters, medium difficulty, and then tricky characters to boot. So that's actually really cool. Otherwise, this is something that gives you an overall glimpse at the game, as well as something to look up. Like, oh, what is Berserker? Tells you right there. What is Dodge? Right there. Evolutionary Cocoon? Don't even know who would use that, but it's there. Some are a bit more on the nose, like I Am Groot. Makes sense. Genius, those are gonna come in handy quite a bit, but I am really glad to see this, because I was actually looking for this rulebook in particular online, but I just couldn't find it. That was after I'd bought this, but before I actually opened it just now, so cool stuff. And believe it or not, this box is not full whatsoever. Like, it doesn't even have all the like foam pieces to like fill this up. Like, you could have easily put a game mat in here. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe if you take these out, maybe a game mat would have fit in here. But as it stands, these foams are probably not going to be used and will probably be set aside. I'm trying to decide myself if I want to use this box in particular for the base game, or use it for all of my Marvel Studios MCU stuff. So still deciding, but let's take a look at the contents here. And I'm wondering, and I'm sure it probably is, if it's one stack, one giant deck per team, because there's 4 teams in this set. In this set, you get a deck for the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, X-Men, and Supervillains. Now, they're their own set, and they're just like, I guess, the Avengers equivalent. Although maybe Masters of Evil would be that, but both exist, to be honest. But that might have, the idea of Masters of Evil being its own team might have arrived later, and they just thought, well, we'll have all these good guy teams, and then this kind of generic, over-encompassing bad guy team. But there we have it. Quick look at the tokens. They've largely stayed the same since the game's inception, where you have your +1/1 tokens, where during a battle or given any situational state, you may get -1/1 tokens or +1/1 tokens. And on the back are 3 variants, +3/3, -3/-3 variants of the same token. They're color-coded, making them very easy to see. You can get die that effectively do the same thing. I like the tokens. And then you have these health markers that effectively do the same thing, but for health. So each card will have a health on it. So these all have 5, meaning they have 5 hit points. Once they hit 0, they're dead. Being main characters, if they die, you lose the game. But if they're supporting characters and they have, say, 2, they get hit once, you'll put 1 on it. If, for whatever reason, this guy, or sorry, Storm was hit, had 3 hit points out, you would either use 3 of these, or you flip it over and use 1 of these, because they have 3 notches in them. Then the last token are the experience tokens, because once we get into it, you'll see that each character, for the most part, basically has a level 1 and a level 2. To get to level 2, you need X amount of experience points, which is determined by the level 1 card, and they're all different for each character. Rocket Raccoon only takes 1 to level up, but that condition is probably difficult to make. Whereas Storm, 3 could depend. Let's see. Captain America, 3. Green Goblin, 6. So that might be relatively easy to do, but you have to do it several times. Whereas Rocket, it's probably pretty hard to do, but you only have to do it the one time to fulfill the condition. So let's get a closer look. So let's take a look at these one at a time and start, of course, with the Avengers. And is there... Okay, so it does look like there's something here to help me out. Come on, this is like 9 years old. This should be falling apart. Honestly, the fact that it isn't, kudos, I suppose. But it came out pretty easy. So let's take a look at the first main character, Captain America. These are all going to be Avenger cards, so we're going to skip over that. 5 health, 2 5 stats, Avengers Assemble main red. This turn, enemy characters can't strike back during team attacks. That's actually pretty cool, because during a team attack, you'll have 2 or more characters that combine their attack to fight one singular foe. Normally, that singular foe could strike back against one of the opposing team. Using this, they just can't. His second superpower, side by side, level up. You gotta do this 3 times. When Cap team attacks and stuns an enemy character, he gains an XP. So you can see the way that his character wants to be played. You want to do team attacks, and you can make your team unable to be attacked when you use Avengers Assemble. He transforms, his level 2. He retains his first ability. He now has a 5-7 spread, so typically they do get much stronger when they do level up. And since he's already leveled up, he replaces his level up ability with Leader of the Avengers, main yellow. Put a +1/1 counter on each character on your side. Pretty basic, but I'm sure for these like first sets, that's not too bad. Now, Hulk, I don't actually know how many Hulks we have in the entire franchise, other than like MCU Hulk or Totally Awesome Hulk. So it's cool to see this one. So he has 6 health, which is more than the other characters. 3/3 stat line, smash, main green. Put a +1/1 counter on Hulk for each wound he has. So he's probably going to want to play around getting wounded. You won't like him when he's angry. Level up 4 times. When Hulk gets stunned, he gains an XP. That would help Hulk because as he's getting wounded, he's getting experience and getting closer to his next level. But in the meantime, you can smash and have +1/1 counters equal to how much he's been getting hurt, basically. So high risk, very high reward. His level 2, he now has 6/6 stat line, so much stronger, twice as strong. He loses his level up ability, but he gains Banner's influence, which is build yellow, remove each +1/1 counter from Hulk, and draw that many cards. So you're giving up all that pluses you just got, but you're drawing into stuff that can hopefully make an even bigger influence on the game than that attack. Next up, we have Iron Man, 5 health, flight and range. So that's the first character we've gotten so far that has those very common abilities, so common that they printed them onto the cards. 2/4 stat line, repulsor blast, main blue, put a -1/1 counter on an enemy character, and you may push it to its back row. Armor MK3, level up 3 times. When a character on your side powers up, Iron Man gains an XP. His level 2, he now has a 3/7 stat line, very interesting stats there. Defensive, not very offensive. Upgraded armor, main yellow, put 3 +1/1 counters on a character on your side that already has a +1/1 counter. So that's interesting. We have Spider-Man as an Avenger, 5 health, 2/5 stat line, great power. During either player's turn, combat green, Spider-Man gets a +1/1 counter this combat for each face-up supporting character on your side. Great responsibility. Level up 8. He's got to do this 8 times, so it should be fairly easy to do this each singular time. At the end of your turn, Spidey gets 1 XP for each face-up supporting character on your side. So This guy is obviously another team player and he wants other people on his side. So early on, if you get one character, he'll have +1, 2, +2, and it can ramp up, but it will take a few turns for him to level up. But when he does, he'll have a 4/8 stat line. He retains great power, but gains friendly neighbor. During any player's turn, any combat yellow, remove a defender on your side from combat and replace it with Spider-Man. Switch their positions. So these sets typically give you about 4 main characters for each team, so those are our 4. And then the expansions tend to fill out the team a bit more for characters that are missing. For the supporting character lineup, we have Ant-Man with a 1 cost, 1 health, 2/2 stat line, and Shrink. The first time he's attacked this turn, you may cancel the combat. Which, probably... Yeah, so these should all have 4 copies of each card, unless it is a one-of-a-kind. Now, the reasoning for that is because this card game, this competitive built deck card game, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, is different in that you buy this expansion, you get every single card at the max quantity that you could add to your deck per each expansion. Rather, in Yu-Gi-Oh! You get a pack of random 7 or 9 cards that are mostly commons, not very good. You're going to have maybe a rare, super rare, ultra rare, what have you. But at the most, you'll only get 1 ultra rare, so you'll need to buy more or buy many, many packs to try to luck into it. There's no luck in at least buying these cards. You buy the set, you get every single copy, 4 copies that you could possibly need in a deck, although your deck building may vary. Next up, we have Black Widow, another 1/1, 1 cost, 1 health. She has range, 2/1 stat line, Sting. When she appears, put a -1/1 counter on an enemy character. So, of course, we've got 4 copies. Now, if for any reason there are not 4 copies, it's because they didn't give you the right number, because there should be. Next up, we have Black Panther, another Avenger. 2 cost, 2 health, 3/2 stat line, and ferocious. During melee combat, he strikes before enemy characters. That's cool, because that's one of those things that breaks basic game logic, where when you battle, the fight actually takes place simultaneously, as in when he would attack her 2 attack hits his 2 defense, so they're equal, but his 3 attack hits her 1 defense, so I think that actually means they both would get hurt. But because she has 1 health, she would just flip over, get a counter, she dies. He has 2 health, so he would then come back on the next turn. But because he has ferocious, he actually hits first, and then she would die. Daredevil, 2 cost, 1 health, 3/3 stat line, dodge, he can't be range attacked. So I think we actually saw that on Black Widow, so I believe that means if she's in the back row, she could actually hit someone who's in the enemy front row. But because of dodge, he sees it coming and dodges out of the way. Fearless, so while attacking a main character, he strikes with double his attack. So he's actually very strong to be fighting main characters. And I do believe that works during a team attack as well. So that almost guarantees you're going to be able to take them down, at least in that one fight. But that main character will be able to strike back, and if they have enough attack to overcome his defense, they're probably going to go after him, because he is such a strong enemy to contend with. Next up, we have Hawkeye. 2 cost, 1 health, range, 2/3 stat line, and take aim, main red. The next time Hawkeye attacks during this turn, he gets +3 attack, +0 defense. If it's a range attack, range enemy characters can't strike back at him. So normally, when you're in hand-to-hand combat, they fight back against each other. When it's range, and, well, not him because he wouldn't be able to be attacked, but if Spider-Man was in the front row and he's attacking from the back row, Spider-Man can't do anything about that because he doesn't himself have range. So he would strike him, and then that's basically it. But if for somehow he's fighting himself, since he does have range, Normally, he would be able to range back at him, but this ability specifically means that even characters with it won't be able to do that. That said, that only happens if you use his ability to take aim and pay the red costs. If you don't, then it works like any two range characters normally would against each other. So as strong as these abilities are, you have to remember you have to have the resources and able to use the abilities. They're not just free. Nick Fury, 3 cost, 1 health, range, 1/5 stat line, the vast resources of shield. Main yellow, put the top card of your deck face down into your resource row. If the location, you may turn it face up. That's not bad. You're more than likely going to be losing a stronger character because of that, but the idea of getting a free resource and a location, if nothing else, is actually pretty strong. Now we have the supporting character version of one of the main characters in our deck, Captain America. 3 cost, 1 health, 4/4 stat line. He has a leader. While he's team attacking, you choose who the defender strikes back against. And inspire, when another character appears on your side, put a +1/1 counter on it. That's actually really strong. However, if you're using him yourself, you can't play the same supporting character of the character you are. I think the most you can do is discard it from your hand to power up your main character by putting a +1/1 counter on it. Ooh, here's Spider-Man. All these cards have some kind of damage or wear along the edges, so it makes them look worse than they probably are, because these are brand new. They were sealed, although I have had cards that are much newer look kind of worn. It could just be the cardstock or the way they're packaged or something, but it really doesn't affect the cards when you use them, and there's no like max rarity to these, so I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to that as well. It doesn't bother me because for the most part I'll be putting them in sleeves, so you really can't tell. Spider-Man, 4 cost, 1 health, 4/7 stat line. He has dodge, so he can't be range attacked, and web sling. Main red, pulling back row enemy character to its front row. So if it's hiding back there from you, you're going to yank him forward. Probably should have been like web yank or something, but it's fine, I guess. Miss Marvel, 4 cost, 2 health, flight and range, 3/3 stat line, and energy absorption. Main blue, put a +1/1 counter on Miss Marvel for each other range character on your side. Now, the cool thing that you'll see with Captain America, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel is that these are like the originals. Later on, you'll have like their name, but with stars around them. That means it's like a mantle, I believe, and it designates that it is a Spider-Man or a Miss Marvel, but technically is a different person underneath the mask. So that's pretty cool. We have Luke Cage, 5 cost, 1 health. I wish he had 2. 7/6 stat line. That might be why. And impervious skin during either player's turn. Combat green. If Luke Cage gets stunned during this combat, he doesn't receive a wound. So that actually keeps him from dying, of course, because he won't get the wound. But because he only has the 1 health, and it takes up your resource, it's going to be hard to keep him around. I think later iterations of Luke Cage buffed his character a bit. Oh, speaking of, we have Doctor Strange. 5 cost, 1 health, flight, and a 5/6 stat line. Transmute, main yellow. Choose a character and turn all of its +1/1 counters into -1/1 counters or vice versa. So if you've been loaded up with positivity, you can just turn that into something that hurts him, like Hulk, who gets +1/1 counters each time, or no, he gets +1/1 counters equal to the wounds he has, so you can put a bunch on him, turn them into bad, and that's actually going to really hurt him. So that's pretty powerful. Ooh, okay. We have the supporting character version of Iron Man. 6 cost, 1 health, flight and range, 5/7 stat line. That's better. Inventive. When he appears, you may turn one of your face down locations face up. That's strong because you don't see that or at least I haven't seen that very often in the game in general. Once they've been turned over, it's kind of they're gone. So I could see this being a must-have in a deck, just to be able to reuse your, say, Transmutate. That's really good. Next up, we have Thor, 6 cost, 2 health, flight. I would see him having range, but I could see you not wanting to just give it everything to just every character. 6/5 stat line, lightning strike, main blue, put 3 -1/1 counters on an enemy. Really cool to kind of hurt them. Oh, okay. We have Incredible Hulk. Sorry, we have Hulk, 7 cost, 2 health, 7/7 stat line, incredible power, main green. If Hulk has a wound, put 7 1/1 counters on him. It just works differently from the main character just because the main character has several health. He only has 2, so if he has 2, he's already dead. So if he's been hit one time, becomes a 14/14, very strong and incredibly powerful character. And of course, you get 4 of them, and you can choose in your deck how many you actually want to run. That could be 1, that could be 4, it could be 0. You have the choice, and it's within your pool of cards to pick from. Now on to the plot twists. These are like the spell trap cards of the deck. Plot twist, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And the A here, the Avengers logo, means that you have to have one of those characters in order to use it. Your main character, I think, suffices. So that'll do. During either player's turn, combat, choose a character to get +2/2 this combat. Very simple, but, gets the job done. Think again. During either player's turn, combat, cancel the combat. Meaning if you were going to get whipped, nope, think again. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Stark Tech. Main, put a +1/1 counter on a character on your side. It gains range this turn. Oh, sweet. Max out on that too. Now, we're going to look over, and I wonder if we also have the basic ones here, but in this game, you have 4 different locations corresponding to the 4 different colors, mainly. Later on, there's going to be more, but in this base set, there's, I think, just the 4. The blue symbol, yellow, green, red, they all have different names. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but each one corresponds to a certain type of power or category. Blue, yellow, green is more strength. I think red might be like skill, but this one, this rainbow one, is a special location, Avengers Mansion, where it counts as any of the colors for an Avenger character, which is kind of rainbow. So if you have that, no matter which one you need, what do you know? I have that color available. So if you're going to be running any locations, you're probably going to want to max out on this one every time, and then the rest, depending on what your deck needs. Oddly enough, we're back to the plot twist, Open Fire. I like the focus on Iron Man and him using these different accoutrements to power himself up. During either player's turn, combat, choose an attacker to get +2 this combat. Oh, this is just a 1? Is this like a one-off or something? It's kind of weird. Although this one you don't have a team affiliation, so I'm wondering if there's actually going to be multiple copies, like one in each set, because I could kind of see that. Best offense is a good defense. During either player's turn, combat, choose an attacker to get 5 defense this turn. Savage Surprise. During either player's turn, combat, choose a defender to get +4 attack this combat. So if you initiate the attack, you're the attacker. If you're receiving it, you're the defender. But both of you are engaged in combat at the exact same time. Find cover. During either player's turn, combat, defender gets +3 this combat. So yeah, so you kind of have one for each situation. You're the attacker, you get attack. You're the attacker, you get defense. You're the defender, you get attack. And you're the defender, get defense. And here are the basic locations. Training ground are the red. Laboratory are the blue. Academy, is the yellow, and Fortress is the green. So you're not always going to be running 4 of each. Definitely 4 of that special one, but this is going to depend on what your deck needs. So if you have a lot of red abilities, you're going to max out on the red. You may not even touch all the rest. You're probably going to be using maybe 2 sets, the rainbow. Maybe that. It really depends on your how your deck is made, and that's the fun of making your own deck. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Guardians of the Galaxy deck. So if there's 4 characters, obviously Rocket's 1. I'm going to say Groot. Let's see who else. Gamora and Star-Lord would be my guesses for who they would pick for Guardians. At this point in 2015, Guardians 1 was already out, so that'd be my guess just since Rocket's already here. Normally I would think maybe Rocket could be like a double character with Groot. Now, since this was kind of pushed in, the card's a little damaged. That was just a Fortress location. I'm not too concerned with that, and it's not that badly messed up, so I'm cool with it. I had one set where it was very badly messed up. I had to return it and get a new. First up, we have Rocket Raccoon, Guardians of the Galaxy set, 5 health, range, 2/4 stat line, murder you, main blue. Rocket gets a +4 attack the next time he attacks during this turn. Back against the wall, level up 1 time. If you have no cards in your hand, he gains an XP, and right away levels up to level 2. He now has a 6/5 stat line, and has 1 Raccoon's Garbage, main red. Choose 2 random cards in your KO pile, reveal them, and put them into your hand. That's really good. And obviously here, this is a situation where locations that you're going to pick are obviously going to be the rainbow one for your team, blue and red. There may be a 3rd color depending on your composition. There you go, Star-Lord. 5 health, range, 2/5 stat line, so a little better than Rocket. Greatest Guardian build yellow, so already he's using different colors. You pay 1 less to recruit your next character during this turn. That's pretty cool. Recruiting Drive, level up 5 times. When you recruit a character, he gains an XP. So he wants to bring new people on board because that allows him to become level 2. Where he has a 4/7 stat line and becomes Space Cop, main red. So he's yellow-red. Raccoon was red-blue, so you can see the different color combinations. Space Cop, main red. Each enemy character loses its powers this turn. Kind of cool. Gamora, I'm going to say, I already see red, so red-green is probably going to be here 2 colors. So she has 5 health, 2/5 stat line, which is pretty par for the course. Brutal training, main red. If Gamora stunned an enemy character this turn, put 2 +1/1 counters on her. Deadliest woman in the universe. Level up 3 times. When Gamora stuns a main character, she gains an XP. Oh yeah, see? There you go, green. Now has a 7/5 stat line, which is pretty strong. Godslayer Blade, which we didn't really get to see too much of in the MCU. Main green this turn. When Gamora stuns a character, KO it. Now that doesn't say main character, but I'm assuming it's probably errated to like supporting character or something like that, but still pretty cool. Groot, so obviously he starts with green, maybe green-yellow or something. I don't think we've seen that. 6 health, a 1/1 stat line, kind of weak. I am Groot during either player's turn. Green, he gets +1/1 counter. This combat for each resource on your side. So that's actually exponentially going to be stronger and stronger each turn. I am Groot. When you gain a resource, he gets an XP. So by turn 5, he'll be out there. Oh, okay. So green, blue, 7/7 stats, which is pretty strong. We are Groot. Main blue. Heal a wound from each character on your side. Oh, but then he becomes level 1. I kind of get it. Kind of like in the movie where he becomes Baby Groot. That's pretty cool that they kind of instilled that into it. Next up for the supporting character lineup, we have Cosmo. 1 cost, 1 health, range, 1/3 stat line, and nullify. When he appears, choose an enemy character. It loses and can't gain keyword and superpowers until Cosmo is stunned or leaves play. So he basically just turns off whatever character's powers that you get to choose for that duration. Ooh, comic accurate Yondu. 1 cost, 2 health, range, 1/2 stat line, and a Yaka arrow. Main red. Stun a supporting character with a cost of 3 or less. So that's kind of neat. Major Victory. 2 costs, 1 health, range, 2/4 stat line, psychokinetic shove. Main yellow. Push an enemy character to its back row. Oh, sweet. We have Mantis. 2 costs, 1 health, 2/3 stat line. Rebirth. When she gets KO'd, you may turn her into a face-down resource on your side. That helps Groot, because that becomes a resource. You get an XP for that. So, and then you can recruit something of greater cost on the subsequent turns. We have Agent Venom. 2 costs, 1 health, 3/3 stat line. Symbiote strength. Main green. Put 2 +1/1 counters on Venom. Sorry, Agent Venom, that is. Rocket Raccoon. 3 costs, 1 health, range, 4/1 stat line, scavenger. Main red. Put a card from your KO pile into your hand. I think that's going to be a really strong ability whenever we end up playing these games using these decks. That's going to be up there. Gamora. 3 costs, 2 health, 3/4 stat line, lethal. When she attacks and stuns a supporting character, KO it. So that's closer to what I would have assumed her ability is, but maybe because it costs 2 resources, which is kind of hard to get to, it makes more sense. We have Nova. 4 costs, 1 health, flight, even though in the picture it looks like he's using range, but we'll let it go. 5/5 stat line, Nova for speed. Main blue, ready Nova, so he'll be able to attack again. Star-Lord. 4 costs, 1 health, range, 3/6 stat line, leader. When he's team attacking, you choose a defender, strikes back against. Team up Guardians. Each supporting character on your side is also a Guardians supporting character. So that's going to help for even the odds or other cards and effects. Groot. 5 costs, 2 health, 0+0+. I am Groot. Groot has +1/1 for each resource on your side. So that's going to work really strongly with Mantis. Next up, we have Moondragon. 5 costs, 1 health, range, 4/5 stat line, mental focus, main yellow. Look at top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 in your hand, and the other is at the bottom of the deck. That's like a Digimon effect, which is also going to be very good. Quasar. 6 costs, 1 health, flight and range, 6/7 stat line, Quantum Blast, main blue, turn a location face down. Kind of the opposite of Iron Man, but it hurts your opponent more and locks them out of being able to use an ability at least one time. Drax. We have not seen him as a main character. I think he's in maybe an expansion or what would it be, a crossover set, which is usually like kind of leftover goodies or additions that they weren't able to put into a main expansion set. 6 costs, 2 health, 6/6 stat line, Berserker. When he attacks, put a +1/1 counter on him. Grab. While he's in the front row, enemy characters can't fly over him. So basically, if they try to fly over him, he grabs them out of the sky. Okay, good. Yeah, we do have enough of those. We have Adam Warlock. 7 cost, 1 health, 13/13 stat line. He has flight, evolutionary cocoon, where is that came from? He comes in stunned, which means that turn you play him, I think that means you just can't use him. So you can use him on the next turn, which is probably because he's so powerful. Emerge, main green, recover Adam Warlock and ready him. Use this power only while he's stunned. So I'm pretty sure he would normally, when he comes in, do that. Next turn, he'd be ready to use. But if you had the green, I think you could just be able to use him that same turn you play him. I believe that's how that works. For the plot twist, we have Vigilante Justice. Guardians of the Galaxy card. During either player's turn, combat, choose a character to become ferocious. This combat during melee combat, it strikes before enemy characters, which is pretty fun. And I appreciate that they explain the keyword there, even though they don't have to because you have it there, you have it in the rulebook, but having it on the card makes it easier for people to quickly reference. Even the odds. During either player's turn combat, remove all +1/1 counters from an enemy character. In the combat, that character's current attack and defense become the same as its base attack and defense this combat, which could make it nothing. Like Groot has 0++. Give him a lift. Main, put a +1/1 counter on a character on your side. It has flight this turn because it's getting a lift. Our rainbow location is nowhere for the Guardians. Pretty cool. Open fire, yeah. Best offense is the best. Best offense is a good defense. Savage surprise, find cover, training ground, laboratory, academy, and fortress. Let's take a look at the X-Men deck for this 2-player start set. Or actually, this set comes with the equivalent of 4 decks. So you could have, I don't know if it was created at this point, but a 2v2 matchup or create yourself a little tournament of sorts. Keep in mind your deck is going to have 60 cards, and since this is 400 cards divided into 4, you have more than enough cards to make a deck. So you have to pick and choose or use the starting decks to figure out what your deck is going to be comprised of. First up, we have Storm. She has 5 health, flight, 2/5 stat line, lightning storm, main blue. Put 2 -1/1 counters divided as you choose on up to 2 enemy characters. Children of the Atom. When you activate a superpower, she gains an XP. So that includes her lightning storm. Her level 2 has a 5/6 stat line, and windstorm, main red. Characters on your side gain flight this turn, so you're using the wind to allow them to fly. Wolverine, 5 health, 3/4 stat line, schnick. During either player's turn, combat red, Wolverine gets +3 attack this combat. The best at what he does. Level up 3 times. When Wolverine makes a solo attack, he stuns an enemy character. He gains an XP. His level 2. He has 8/4 stat line now, so he get quite a bit of attack. He still has his schnick ability, and he also has healing factor, main green, heal a wound from Wolverine. Not what I expected, but we have Deadpool as an X-Men. 6 health, so he actually is the first one we've seen so far today that has more than 5. Although it can vary from really any health. He has range, 2/4 stat line, Merc with a mouth. Main red, characters on your side are lethal this turn. When they stun a supporting character, KO it. Man, there's no one left to kill. Level up 3 times at the end of your turn. If all of an enemy's player's characters are stunned, he gains an XP. Now he has a 4/6 stat line at level 2. Oh, there's someone. Hi there, main yellow. For the rest of the game, Deadpool can attack enemy players. A player can only be attacked if all of its characters are stunned while defending. Character has 0/1, has 1 health, and counts as a supporting character. It's kind of neat. Oh, I guess we don't have Cyclops in this, because there's only 4 characters, and we had Storm, Wolverine, Deadpool, of all characters, and Professor X, although if we had to pick one, I guess Professor X would be one of the top contenders. He has 5 health, which is cool that they didn't undercut him at all. Range, 2/4 stat line, and Cerebro, build blue. Reveal top 5 cards of your deck, put a character from among them into your hand and the rest and the bottom of the deck in any order. Pretty cool. A Dream of Peace. Level up 4 times at the end of your turn. If you didn't make any attacks this turn, he gains an XP. So it really incentivizes not attacking, because he now has a 3/8 stat line and has a mental domination. Ready to face up enemy character and move it to your front or back row. At the end of your turn, move it back. So you basically get to change of heart, mind control, literally mind control. You get to mind control your opponent's character, send it into battle, and maybe have it die for you or defeat one of your other opponent's characters for you. Otherwise, they just get it back. But either way, that's cool. Iceman. 1 cost, 1 health, range, 2/1 stat line, freeze. When he appears exhausted, character can't ready during its next turn. That's pretty cool. That really slows them down. Next up, we see Magic. 1 cost, 1 health, 3/2 stat line, teleport to Limbo, main yellow. Put Magic and up to 1 other supporting character on your side into its owner's hand. It's pretty cool bouncing effect. Hope Summers. 2 cost, 1 health, 2/4 stat line, mutant power duplication. Hope has all powers of each other face-up X-Men supporting character on your side. This includes flight range and appear powers like Iceman's freeze, which we saw not that long ago. Here we have my boy. We have Cyclops. 2 cost, 1 health, range, 2/3 stat line, leader, and battle tactics, main red. Move a character on your side to the front or back row. So you could probably use them to team attack and then have them move back to protect them. That'd be my guess. We have Deadpool. 3 cost, 1 health, range, 3/4 stat line, mercenary. He can team attack with any main character. I think team attacks, usually they do have to have the same team affiliation, but due to that, I guess that means he doesn't have to be with an X-Men in order to team attack. Can't keep a bad man down. Build green. If Deadpool is in your KO pile, put him into play. It's cool that this power activates when he's not like on the field. He's already like dead, and then whoop, he comes back, which is fitting for his own mutant power. Namor, which is pretty funny in his OG outfit look. 2 cost, 2 health, flight, 3/2 stat line, invade. While he's attacking a back row character, it can't strike back at him. That's pretty cool. It gives him that really specific but strong utility. Gambit, always cool to see. 3 cost, 1 health, 5/3 stat line, kinetic card throw. Main blue, discard a card that costs at least as much as a face-up enemy character, supporting character, and stun that character. Pretty neat. We have Storm. Storm's supporting character, 4 cost, 1 health, flight, 4/6 stat line, and Thunderstorm. Main blue, put a negative 1/1 counter on each enemy character. Oh, that's cool. We have Beast. 4 cost, 2 health, 5/2 stat line, ferocious. During melee combat, he strikes with 4 other characters. That's good. And Genius, at the start of your turn, if he's face up, you may draw a card. That's in addition to your draw phase. So you're going to get 3 cards if you just have him existing on your side. So that's not bad. We have Wolverine. 5 cost, 2 health, 5/5 stat line. Berserker, when he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on him. Regeneration, at the start of your turn, if he's face up, heal a wound from him. So even if he gets hit once, he'll have 1 left, but then, hey, look, he's going to get 1 back, which makes him quite formidable. Oh, cool. We have Cable. 5 cost, 1 health, range, 2/7 stat line, ultimate soldier, combat red. At the end of this combat, stun each enemy character that survived the combat. Colossus. 6 cost, 1 health, 7/7 stat line, toss. When he appears, choose another character on your side to gain flight this turn. Organic Steel. During either player's turn, combat green, he gets +5/5 this combat. That's actually pretty strong. So ideally, you toss Logan. So he'll have flight and his attack, so he has Berserker too, and he's just a very strong, oddly versatile little man. Emma Frost. 6 cost, 2 health, range, 5/6 stat line, and Mind Games. When she appears, you may have a player discard their hand, draw that many cards. That's good. It gets them into, I don't remember exactly if decking out is a thing in this game, but it disrupts what they're going to do. Hopefully makes them lose location cards that they didn't want to discard. Professor X. 7 cost, 1 health, range, 4/8 stat line, and Mind Control. Main yellow, ready a face-up enemy supporting character and move it to your side. At the end of turn, move it back. Really cool stuff. X Factor, main, ready a character. So that's really strong. Just it allows you to do stuff, which is always good that you want to do. Squad Tactics, love the artwork, and this is like the OG artwork. This is more of a current artwork, so cool to have the different combinations seen amongst the same deck. During either player's turn, combat, put a +1/1 counter on each character on your side in the combat. Uncanny Defense. During either player's turn, combat, remove a defender on your side from the combat and switch it with a different character on your side, switch their positions. It's really cool to defend your more glass cannon-y characters. Then their Rainbow special location is school for gifted youngsters. So not hard to predict that, but also good to see. Then we see the Open Fire, good offense is good defense, Savage Surprise, Blinding Fire, Training Ground, Laboratory, Academy, and Fortress. Now for the last set of cards, we're going to have the supervillains, which we can already see has Green Goblin as the poster boy. As they should, he is definitely a supervillain of very little remorse, regret, or equal. Okay, cool. For a second, I thought that didn't do anything. First up, we have the Green Goblin, 5 health, flight, 2/4 stat line. Sadistic Choice, main yellow, choose an enemy supporting character and stun it unless the player discards a random card. That is a hard choice. Chaos and Destruction, level up 6 times when an enemy character becomes stunned. Green Goblin gains an XP. But it doesn't have to be by him. That's the big thing. Just if it happens, cool, XP. On to level 2. He now has a 6/5 stat line, way stronger. Bombs away, main red, KO a stunned enemy supporting character. So if you have both, you can just go ahead and do both, which is pretty strong. Next up is Loki, 5 health, 1/6 stat line, God of Mischief during either player's turn, combat red, play either player's turn combat plot twist from your KO pile, and shuffle it into your deck. That seems pretty strong. Plots within plots, level up 5 times when you play a plot twist, he gains an XP. So that's the incentive to using a bunch, even when you necessarily wouldn't want to use it early, because you can recycle them with him, and they level him up to level 2 with a 4/8 stat line, and he now has Master of Plots, main yellow, choose an enemy player to reveal their hand, discard all their plot twists. Another really strong ability on Loki, wow. Magneto, who is not Brotherhood of Mutants, although there will be later iterations of the character that are. Here they just had the generic supervillain moniker. 5 health, flight and range, 2/4 stat line, magnetic force field. During either player's turn, combat blue, Magneto gets +4 defense this combat, because he put up a magnetic field. Mutant Master at the start of your turn, if Magneto is face up, he gains an XP, so guaranteed 4 turns, level 2. 5/5 stat line, and now has Mutant Supremacy. Main green, KO a face down resource. So you just get rid of their resources, which is pretty cool. Oh, wow, okay, we went there. We have Thanos, 6 health, which is fair. 3/4 stat line, Court Death, main green, shuffle each character in a KO pile into its deck, then put that many +1/1 counters on Thanos. The Mad Titan, level up 6 times when a character on any side gets KO'd, Thanos gains an XP. So a bunch have to happen, but you get this 6/6 stat line, which I think is equivalent to the Hulk in this, ironically. He now has the Infinity Gauntlet, main blue, yellow, green, red. For each enemy player, stun their main character, KO one of the resources, KO one of their supporting characters, and they discard their hand. If you were able to do this, my god, like that would be... You're probably already doing okay. I can't say this is a do better card, but that is going to be the thing that makes you win if you're able to do that, because of how much it hurts your opponent. Now going on to the supporting cast, we have Ronan, 2 cost, 2 health, 3/3 stat line, and Accuse, main yellow, name any card, Choose an enemy to reveal their hand and discard each card of that name. So if you happen to know what's in their hand, which hoping one of these other guys do, play it together and they synergize. Mystique, 2 cost, 1 health, 2/4 stat line, Impersonate. Main red, choose another face-up character. Her base attack and defense become the same as that character's current attack and defense for the rest of this turn. She'll still be affected by +1/1 and -1/1s that she has. Ooh, okay. We have Dr. Octopus, 3 cost, 1 health, 3/5 stat line, grab. While he's in the front row, enemy characters can't fly over him. Obviously, he's got all them arms. He's going to grab them, and he's a genius. So you're going to get that +1 draw at the start of every turn. Green Goblin, 3 cost, 1 health, flight, 4/3 stat line, and blast. When he appears, choose an enemy row and put a -1/1 counter on each character in that row. That seems pretty powerful, actually. Yeah, we have Red Skull. 3 cost, 1 health, range, 2/4 stat line, dodge, can't be range attacked, and Dust of Death. During either player's turn, combat Red Skull. Stun a character that is melee attacking. Red Skull. Sweet, we got Sabretooth, who has 4 cost, 2 health, 4/4 stat line, Ferocious, and Berserker. So those are 2 really strong offensive capabilities that he's got there. Looking at Ultron, 4 cost, 1 health, flight and range, 3/1 stat line, Swarm. Swarm is a really fun ability that's used for more generic enemies, but Ultron is obviously able to use it as well. You can have any number of this card on your side. This power cannot be turned off. That doesn't negate the 4 per deck. So you can only have 4 of these anyway, but at any time you can have as many of him as you possibly can. So up to 4. Replicate, build blue, search your deck for a copy of this character and put it into play, then shuffle your deck. So he can make it so you can get out multiples more often. Their defense is pretty weak, so your opponent can take them out, but if you team attack with them, obviously they do add up. That's really cool. We see Abomination, some more Hulk support, or anti-support as it were. Really cool to see. 5 cost, 3 health, 5/5 stat line, Monstrous. When he is melee team attacked, he strikes back against each attacker. Normally, if you are team attacked, the recipient, you only get to strike back against one of the attackers, but he kind of overarching swipes at everyone, which is very cool. This is what I want to see. The Mandarin, 5 cost, 1 health, range, 3/6 stat line, Macluin rings, main, each color. So yellow, draw a card. Red, choose an enemy player to discard a card. Green, put +1/1 counter on a character. Blue, -1/1 counter on a character. So that's really powerful. Juggernaut, 6 cost, 2 health, 8/5 stat line. That's really strong. Unstoppable combat green. While attacking solo during this combat, if Juggernaut stuns front row enemy characters and survives, he may immediately attack a character in that back row. So he just kind of keeps going, which is a very interesting ability. Magneto, 6 cost, 1 health, flight range, 7/6 stat line, magnetic suppression. Enemy supporting characters can't recover. They remain stunned. That is actually pretty powerful, it would seem. Oh, okay, Loki. 7 cost, 1 health, 7/8 stat line in Schemer. First time you play a plot twist each turn, you may draw a card. So you kind of, when you use a plot twist, obviously you have one less card in your hand, but that allows you to kind of make up for that card in card economy. We have Dormammu, 7 cost, 2 health, flight, 6/7 stat line, immortal. When he's KO'd, you may shuffle him into your deck, so you never really lose him. Necromancy, main, yellow-blue. Put a character from an enemy's KO pile onto your side. That's not quite the same as the mind control that Professor X has, but almost better. It's like a Monster Reborn, but you only use your opponent's monsters, which is, but hopefully they have something strong that you were able to overcome before, and now it's going to work against them. Oh, I was wondering, like, is he the last one? No, the last presumably, didn't check all the way, but presumably the last supporting character for the supervillains is Thanos. 8 cost, 2 health, 12/12 stat line, welcome death. Main green, add a wound to all stunned characters. You get this out, you're doing good. Extinguish. Main, KO a stunned supporting character. So that's almost, not quite free, but like basically free. If it's stunned, play that, snap, it's gone. Metal and fire. During either player's turn in combat, put a -1/1 counter on each enemy character in combat. Trickster God. So I'm guessing you're going to get probably a plot twist from one of each of the main good guys is bad guy, which is very fun to see. During the other player's turn, combat, switch the current attack and defense of character for this combat. It's kind of like a shield and sword type of card. Cool to see that kind of manipulation being done. The Vault, I don't really have a frame of reference for that, but the Vault is their rainbow location. Of course, you're going to run 4 of those. Open fire, best offense is good defense. Savage surprise, cover fire. So you'll see that this set in its entirety came with 4 of these, broken down into 4, 1 for each of the decks. So the way we're going to be playing it out, as well as the basic locations, but the way we're going to be playing the games is first we're going to be using the suggested starting decks, and then one of the easy to use characters, and then allow each player to open up the card pool to just everything within their team. And we'll probably keep these to 1s unless players want to trade, but we might just keep these in the decks or let them just choose not to use them if they so chose not to. But that was it for the Versus System 2-player card game, The Marvel Battles. Let me know in the comments below which one of these decks you think is the best, and which decks you want to see pitted up against each other. That includes which main character that you saw here. Personally, I want to try Loki because he just seems like really fun, using the different plot twists, getting rid of your opponent's plot twist, refreshing your plot twist. Like, that just seems like a really fun and annoying strategy for the God of Mischief. Well, guys, that's it for the Versus System 2-player card game, The Marvel Battles. If you want to stay up to date with my videos and live streams on both YouTube and Twitch, check out links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and consider joining. That's all for now, guys. Manjoume out.